11 money lessons from the psychology of money that most people learn too late. What if becoming rich had almost nothing to do with how smart you are, and almost everything to do with how you think? That's the wild claim at the center of one of the most popular money books of the last decade. The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel has sold over 6 million copies and changed how millions of people see wealth, savings, and risk. This video breaks down 11 of the most powerful lessons from the book in plain words. By the end, the way most people picture money will look completely different, and the very first lesson flips everything most schools teach about success. So what is the first lesson? The one that sets the tone for the whole book? Nobody is crazy. Housel says every person makes money choices based on what they have lived through. A grandparent who survived the Great Depression saves every coin. A young person who grew up during a stock market boom buys risky stocks without fear. They aren't crazy. They are just shaped by their own world. Money is not math. Money is story. Every spender, saver, and investor moves through life based on what their personal history taught them. Once a person understands this, judging others for their money habits starts to feel pointless, and understanding self-history becomes the first step to building real wealth. So, what's the next lesson that quietly shapes every fortune? Luck and risk are twins. Two people can make the same choice and get totally different results. One person bets on a stock and becomes rich. Another bets the same way and loses everything. Most success stories are built on luck nobody admits to. Most failures are built on risk nobody saw coming. Housel says, nothing is as good or as bad as it seems. The lucky winner isn't a genius. The unlucky loser isn't a fool. Both are players in a game where outcomes don't always match effort. The smart move is to study patterns, not single stories, and stay humble whether things go up or crash down. What's the lesson about enough? It might be the most important page in the entire book. Housel says the hardest financial skill is knowing when you have enough. The world is full of rich people who lost everything because they didn't know when to stop. Lottery winners gambling away millions. CEOs trading away clean reputations for one more deal. Wall Street legends going broke chasing more. The point isn't that ambition is bad. The point is that without a clear line, money turns into a hunger that never gets full. People who define enough early in life stay calm during booms and steady during busts. They build real wealth instead of risky piles. What's the lesson everyone forgets about compounding? Time does the heavy lifting. Most people think wealth grows from picking the perfect stock or starting the perfect business. The truth is simpler. Wealth grows because money grows on top of itself, slowly, year after year. Warren Buffett is one of the richest people on earth, but over 90% of his wealth came after his 65th birthday. Why? Because he started young and let time do its quiet work. Most people would rather have huge gains today than steady gains forever. That's the trap. Big money happens not from fast results, but from staying in the game for a long time. So what's the lesson about getting wealthy and staying wealthy? They are not the same skill. Getting rich often takes risk, big bets, and bold moves. Staying rich takes the opposite: caution, patience, fear of loss. People often get rich and then lose it all because they keep using the same risky habits that helped them win. The smarter move is to switch modes. Once a fortune is built, the goal becomes keeping it safe, not doubling it overnight. Housel says, survival is the only path to riches that lasts. Anyone can have a hot year. Few can stack hot decades. What's the lesson about tails? In money, in business, and in markets, just a tiny fraction of moves create most of the results. A small number of stocks make most market returns. A small number of products earn most company profits. A small number of decisions shape most lifetime wealth. Housel calls these tails profits. A small number of decisions shape most lifetime wealth. Housel calls these tails. So if a person makes 10 investments and 7 do nothing to lose money, and 1 explodes upward, they may still come out far ahead. The lesson: don't panic when most things look quiet. The big wins come from the few that break out. Patience matters more than activity. What is the price tag every investor pays? Volatility. Stock markets go up over time, but the path is bumpy. Big drops happen. Crashes happen. Most people quit during those drops because the pain feels too sharp. Housel compares it to paying admission at an amusement park. The price of long-term gains is short-term fear. Knowing the price ahead of time helps a person stay calm when it shows up. What's the lesson about freedom? Money's biggest reward isn't fancy cars or big houses. It's control over time. The richest feeling in life is being able to wake up and decide what to do that day. Housel says, people overestimate what cash can buy and underestimate what flexibility can give. A modest income with full control over time is often richer than a giant salary chained to long hours. What's the lesson about saving without a reason? Save anyway. Most people only save for a goal. Housel says smart savers stash money, even without a plan. Why? Because life surprises everyone. A car breaks, a job ends, a family emergency hits, a perfect opportunity shows up. Savings turn surprises from disasters into opportunities. What's the lesson about being reasonable, not rational? Numbers don't always win. People are emotional. A perfectly logical investment that keeps a person up at night isn't the right choice. A slightly imperfect plan that helps someone sleep well and stay consistent is often better. Real wealth lives where math meets peace of mind. And the very last lesson: stay humble. The world changes faster than anyone can predict. The smartest investors today might be wrong tomorrow. Flexibility, learning, and humility are the deepest forms of wealth a person can carry. What about the story Housel uses to open the book? It's one of the most quoted parts of the whole text. He tells the story of Ronald Reed, a janitor and gas station attendant from Vermont. Ronald lived simply, drove a beat-up car, and never made a high salary. When he passed away in 2014, the world learned he had quietly built a fortune of over $8 million. His secret wasn't a hot tip or a clever business. He bought solid blue-chip stocks and held them for decades. He let time do the work. Meanwhile, Housel also describes a Harvard graduate named Richard Fusconi, a high-flying Wall Street executive who lived in a giant mansion, spent freely, and went bankrupt during the 2008 financial crisis. Two men, two opposite paths. Same world, same markets. The janitor became rich. The executive lost everything. What about the story Housel tells about Bill Gates and the high school he attended? It's one of the most powerful luck lessons in the entire book. Bill Gates went to Lakeside School in Seattle in the late 1960s. At that time, Lakeside was one of the only high schools in the entire world with a computer terminal that students could use. Most kids in the country never even saw a computer. Gates, by sheer luck of being born to a family that sent him to that one specific school, got to spend thousands of hours coding as a teenager. By the time he started Microsoft, he had skills almost no one else his age had. Housel uses this story to show that even the richest, most brilliant people in the world ride on huge waves of luck most fans never see. One more lesson worth pulling from the book is the danger of pessimism dressed up as wisdom. Housel says, pessimists often sound smarter than optimists, even when they are wrong. News headlines that warn of crashes feel sharp and serious. Stories of long, slow gains feel boring. Yet the stock market, over decades, has always gone up. Smart investors learn to trust the slow climb and ignore the loud panic. Another point Housel makes is the truth about expensive lessons. Money mistakes are usually the most expensive teachers a person ever meets, but they are also the most powerful. Every loss, every bad call, and every overspend teaches a lesson that no book can match. The smart move is to make those mistakes small, early, and survivable. Learn cheap, lose cheap. Go rich. The deeper truth behind the psychology of money is simple. Wealth is not what people see. Wealth is what people don't see. The unspent cash, the skipped purchase, the patience held through a market crash, the savings built quietly over decades. Most people chase looking rich. The truly rich chase being free. And once that switch flips inside someone's head, every dollar earned starts working differently. The biggest fortune any reader can build is not in a bank account. It's in the habits, the patience, and the mindset that survive every market storm life can throw. If this breakdown gave you a new way to see money, drop a like so more people find it. Subscribe to catch the next book breakdown the second it lands. And share this with someone who's tired of chasing more. Because real wealth doesn't shout, it quietly builds.